Experience the heart of the Roman Empire and the center of Western civilization 2,000 years ago. We visit the ancient ruins of the Roman Forum. Upon arriving in Rome, we visit the Forum after seeing the Colosseum underground and top level by special tour. And you'll have the option to play my Colosseum video at the end of this one. As we progress through the Forum, I'll point out main sites and share some history. You'll see a few marvelous vantage points. One is on the house of Tiberius, and from the Forum you can walk up these stairs to reach it. And there are two wonderful vantage points on the north end, which you access from the street without needing to pay to enter the Forum. One is on the east side, which gets you up close to the Arch of Septimius Servius. And here on the west side is probably the best postcard view, which we'll see at night near the end of this video. Both of these can be reached from Capitoline Hill, which is worth its own visit, and you walk around each side of the senatorial palace. Another vantage point is the top of the Victor Emmanuel monument, which you reach via an elevator for a fee. The Roman Empire peaked around 117 AD and completely encircled the Mediterranean. Building upon the legacy of ancient Greece, Rome shaped Western civilization in so many ways, from architecture and engineering to language, art, education, law, government, and religion. Here is the Arch of Constantine from 315 AD, commemorating his victory at the Milvian Bridge entering Rome, which secured his place as emperor. As we enter the Roman Forum, we first come across the Arch of Titus, commemorating Rome's suppression of a revolt in Judea in 70 AD. The Roman army, led by Titus, defeated rebels, took Jerusalem, and destroyed their temple, leaving only its foundation, known today as the Wailing Wall. This is a great view of the Forum. Imagine this was the heart of ancient Rome and the center of Western civilization 2,000 years ago. Victory processions marched through here, elections were held here, their government sat here, and public speeches were here. This small valley has been called the most celebrated meeting place in the history of the world. This building is the Farnese Aviaries, which has the stairs I mentioned earlier that lead up to the terrace. It's not from ancient Rome, but from the 16th century. Here is the best preserved section of the House of Tiberius, where we overlook the Forum. Tiberius built the palace, Caligula enlarged it, and Nero also lived there until he built his bigger golden palace on the other side of the Colosseum. Next, we check out the circular Temple of Romulus. The building is mostly intact due to its incorporation into a neighboring church. It's assumed that the temple is dedicated to the son of Emperor Maxentius, who died young in 307 AD. This temple with the big columns was built in 141 AD by Emperor Antonius Pius in honor of his deceased wife Faustina. After his death, the temple was rededicated to both of them, and in the 7th century it was converted into a church. Here are the remains of the Basilica Aemilia, built in 179 AD. It was used for business, meetings, money lending, and tax collecting. Julius Caesar was the most famous leader from ancient Rome. He expanded the Republic in northwestern Europe and was popular with the people. But after achieving a status of dictator in 44 BC, a large group of resentful senators assassinated him. It occurred at a location not far from here, which today is an open square with ruins. His body was brought to the Forum, where Mark Antony gave a moving speech before Caesar was cremated. And this is all that remains of the Temple of Caesar, which was built on his cremation site. After Caesar's death, civil wars broke out, and from that point on, Rome was no longer a republic largely governed by a representative body, and instead became an imperial empire ruled by emperors. These columns are from the Temple of Saturn dating back to 42 BC. They actually replaced an original temple dated 497 BC. Here is one of the best preserved monuments in the Roman Forum. This grand triumphant arch commemorates the victory of Emperor Septimius Severus in Parthia, which is in today's Iran. In 285 AD, Emperor Diocletian found the empire too difficult to manage, so he divided it in two, with Constantinople, today's Istanbul, as capital of the eastern half. While the western half began to destabilize with migrations into its territory by Germanic people from the north, a reduced ability to sustain and defend itself, and lended to its own political instability. In 410, Rome was sacked, and 66 years later the Western Empire fell, and the medieval Dark Ages began in Western Europe. Interestingly, the eastern half of the Roman Empire continued another 1,000 years until the Ottoman Empire conquered Constantinople in 1453. This is Capitoline Hill, and if you walk around this side of the senatorial palace, you come to this postcard view, which I'll also show you at night. If you enjoy my videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new releases. It's free, and sharing with your friends is much appreciated.